ready to open and receive this. And QQ gonna take some contact. He's baiting just for Slens to try and get involved and find a couple of kills.
Tapping away. Nice shot from Slen. Second kill going the way of MOUZ and XTP. Bomb site left with plenty of defense as well. Heavy God and Surreal going to try and earn their way back, and damn have they done so. Oh boy have they. It's just Christian left. They had 4 players on B, Brandon, with only 3 Ts to shoot down. And still, it looks to go the way of Endpoint.
They spotted him as well. Spotted him out towards short. Look at this positioning. Oh, they saw him. Maybe they didn't. Oh, this is weird. Prison, though, still going to work his way through the bomb site. This angle from Surreal is going to be so unexpected as the cross is over and dealt with. What an incredible 2 versus 5 coming out of Endpoint to kick things off. You think it's all said and done? Utility rate. You never rule out the Deagles, though. We know how potent they can be. Good mollies, though. Prison completely displaced and dealt with by Casanito. And now Max can take the space in connector. This gets a little bit weird if Nexus decides to push through. Actually gets flashed by a teammate. Good response. Oh, no way. Finds the follow-up onto Casanito.
That's con control eviscerated. Bomb has to get picked up from middle. You've got no A presence, so the likelihood is you head B. And if that's going to be the case, Surreal spotted by QQ. Or was he? Because he goes back to jump spot and I'm confused. But the bomb's making its way there. I'm not too convinced now for Endpoint either.
No, this setup's so good. You've got a couple of flashes to get you in, but you want to hold your guns. DQ on the timing. Fantastic nade. Brings Surreal a little bit lower. Gonna have to be the AKs. Precise rifle work from Endpoint to recover from yet another deficit. But it's the 2 players that did it last time. Surreal, Heavy God, but Surreal moved from the equation early. There is a tag from MHL, and now Heavy God needs to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, nicely done. Oh, and he does so. Heavy God with another. And it's just Nexius left, exactly like the pistol round panned out. MHL would have heard the jump on short. That's why he's got the smoke up. Nexius is going to think it's his friend, but really it could just be the mortal enemy. Creep in, has to move through the right-hand side of the 2 arches. MHL has got his eyes peeled for this angle. Spots him, knows that he's coming forward. Heavy God can swing on good timing, does miss his chance. Nexius taps the bomb. MHL believes, well, it's a force buy. They're never going to buy a kit. I can spend all the time in the world that I want setting myself up for this frag. Nexius, never the wiser. And Endpoint, look, close but no cigar. The most lethal gun that MOUZ and XT hold.
You'll be careful with this ladder player. Mitchell. Oh, he is accounting for it, but now the player on short can also swing. Casanito not ready. Impact staying alive somehow, some way. 3 versus 4. Surely, MOUZ and XT, you can't fumble this.
Flashes go high. Got the bomb. Great shot from Heavy God. So now the numbers left level. And they seem to have an idea that someone's in ladder. Are we really peeking mid? Heavy God's been given opportunities to frag. MHL. Oh, sorry, Mighty Max. Gonna find Nexius.
What's going on? You got the bomb.
And it's 2 1v1 fights taken. Both of which at decent range. Both of which go the way of Endpoint. Surreal starting to creep in as well. They know that they can spend all the time in the world. They've got Yimfat locked in towards ladder room. Surreal, all he has to do...
Max could flash this.
Yeah, I was going to say a call of a flash. And he can swing and get the kill. They now know where the scout is as well. Max has gunned him down. And well, guess where the last man is? They know for certain now. Mighty Max gets his 4th with the Mac 10. 3-0. Endpoint continuing.
It's so worrisome.
It is. Another force buy, and look, I don't want to be that guy, but there's only a certain amount of times you force where eventually you have to just swallow your pride and take an eco. Like, even in situations like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you could have just ecoed here.
Agreed.
I guess it's a cheaper way of getting to the 4-round loss bonus because you are doing good damage here to Endpoint, but notice how stability is something that they now hold closely. We've got 4 AKs, and yeah, I understand that that is literally every single dollar they have. Chances of them losing a significant amount of them, I'd say, is next to nothing. Max can go and pick up that AK. Smoke goes in towards top con just to make sure
it's clear.
No clearance towards CT, and that's cost Heavy God his life. Not to mention a flashbang works in perfect time, and I eat my own words. I absolutely do. It's just Mighty Max left, and it's only the Mac 10 left.
And surely this is one you don't fumble. Max has been heard as well. Has to clear the corner. Doesn't do it. Twice. Endpoint don't clear their corners. Twice it comes back to bite them. MOUZ NXT. Make them pay the ultimate price. You're taking proactive space. Clear your corners. Just best bit about all of that. QQ didn't even have his gun out. Okay.
Oh my word. That's a pretty exceptional start to this round, isn't it? Straight through the smoke, Slend. I mean, probably kicking himself that he died that way, but not because it was his fault, but it was in fact just luck on the side of Endpoint. Second kill, this time blue painted on the left-hand side of the kill feed as YimFat makes it 3. Again, Endpoint, one by one, they peek out at the end of apartments. YimFat given orders to execute, and he's looking for number 4. He will be given it. It's not a headshot. But they don't matter how it comes. They matter that it gets a second to their name. Go round 6. Flashes are out. QQ blind. Surreal tries to be the entry man. Gonna be long-lived. YimFat again. As an apartments player, he's having a field day right now for his team. Bit strange that YimFat's been playing B the last 2 rounds, but there you go. They are able to scoop it up. And MOUZ NXT equal.
But in fact, just drop nades and back out.
Nicely done. Slen gonna find Heavy God. 4 against 5. That AWP coming into the picture very quickly now for MOUZ NXT. MHL going for a dry swing in middle. He even positioned as if he knew the AWP was going to be there. Still elected to take the fight. Thought he could win it out. Going to be the case. 2-man disadvantage at Endpoint. They're going to have to work back from here in this round. And unfortunately, it's now made 3.
Yeah, this is wonky. This was good discipline by MOUZ NXT. He said you need to get the AWP involved, and Slen's been quite dynamic about where he is. Started connector, rotated towards A, and held ramp. But for Endpoint, you're taking a lot of these fights very individually. MHL, you've already criticized it. There, you're not double swinging connector, so you're allowing Nexus to get a trade. And then Slend activates. That was a really wonky round.
Being obviously the middle 3, Heavy God, Casanito, MHL, so might as well have just force bought in the first place and put everyone on the best possible weapons. Unless there's a deeper meaning, and Endpoint not quite have revealed as to what it is.
I agree, because at the end of the day, you just need to get your team's economy all on the same page as quick as possible. Nice spam. Yeah, I mean, this one should never really be a threat here. MHL, though, that's a good shot, but you got YimFat coming over. They're not considering it, and the spray, it's fantastic. Everyone dealt with in towards middle. It's just Heavy God left. With this saved Eagle, we need to put it to good use, but can't even find a kill.
There you go. How did that work out for them? Force investment doesn't quite pay off. I mean, could have been done better from Endpoint, in all honesty.
I'll change my prediction.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be the other way around, if anything.
Very solid CS on the MOUZ NXT. Nexius and YimFat set up by one flashbang from Crizzen. That's just 2 kills. Immediately falling apart. Endpoint collapsing middle yet again. Max with the trade. But there's still no control really that's been established. Next point of contact is going to be Surreal from underpass.
Molotov in towards top middle. Christian wants to make sure it's clear. Yeah, again, like, MOUZ NXT aren't scared of taking the fights to Endpoint. Yeah, sure, Christian's gone, but YimFat finding Surreal means both of the sites itself are gone. You're now just fighting for mid control. You're going to have to face through MOUZ NXT's defense no matter where you go.
Look at QQ as well. All the information gathered at B. Obviously, they know that both players are in mid, but you're just sealing it. But I like this. He hasn't actually overextended too far. He's holding for this push. Has to worry about underpass in a couple of moments. But with this push from YimFat as well, Deep Palace, Endpoint have to come through middle. The gap is short.
I don't know why we've all pushed so aggressively towards T-spawn, as if that's where Endpoint are residing with 30 seconds left. Slen's had a good look. He's found one, and so there you go. The position's revealed. B-Apps player can start moving back, joined up by YimFat as well. I just feel like with 30 seconds left, the least likely place endpoint are going to be in T-spawn, you know? They're going to have pushed somewhere and playing for the rounds. And there you go. QQ finding Mighty Max on the short push. Doesn't even step a foot onto the bomb site before he's taken out 7-4.
Comes right down to the wire.
The forces
this would have been 10-1 right now.
Definitely. Yeah, I think the most deserved round for endpoint was that pistol. Since then, it's been MOUZ NXT's game to win. Starts well for the pistols, specifically Surreal, as he gets the upgrade to the AK and delivers on a second. So, B-bomb site cleared. Question is for MOUZ NXT, do they want to go press the issue and retake? Endpoint have played plenty of times towards B so far in this map so far. We've got a little bit of utility to try and clear them out. That Molotov and the nade as well. Try to use as a combination to take down one of the site holds. Not going to be Mighty Max playing up close towards short. Nexius has the read. Christian. Oh, saved by his teammate. And now they know where Surreal is. 2 against 1. Still about 12 seconds left on the clock. Surreal with a second, but has to swing out, and Nexius catches him before things get too scary. 8 on the board for MOUZ NXT. To be fair, Endpoint actually give them a really good run for their money in that round, but that's as close as it's been yet.
Yeah, but what an insane...
And that'd feel a little bit disrespectful for how MOUZ NXT have been playing this first half. Talk about what the first 4 rounds on the board for Endpoint were. Obviously the pistol round win and then 3 force buys after. Or sorry, the first 3 rounds were the 2 force buys after. On the third, it finally broke. Nicely done from Nexius. Knows that Max is there as well. And instead of falling back, he pushes forward alongside QQ. And they've just gutted out this mid-presence completely.
Nicely done. That's just taking initiative, understanding that the player's there. So it's like, okay, let's just fight them. We've lost prison out to an extremity, so we'll take the middle of the map instead. And now you got the player advantage on your CT side. QQ's pushed deep. They know it's A. Everyone's here.
Yeah, it's happy days. See what goes on here with a minute left. 3 against 4, Endpoint. We need some willpower to push us to a 6th. Close this half on a strong one. Also, they've been given the opportunity back into this game by previous round win. Can't afford to let a similar mistake occur here. Well, the push goes in. Heavy God starts things off well with Slem getting caught out towards CT. Problem is, MOUZ NXT have overpopulated this A site, not to mention QQ's flank coming into reality. Heavy God trying to fish out for what's behind him, but he's also got to think of a way to get back onto the site. Unfortunately, doesn't get much time to do any of that as it's 9 on the board.
Seen this out of him, but MHL looks like he is holding for it. And Max could even catch him.
Well, Max and Heavy God both get kills. Towards the top corner as well, a perfect time, but Christian doesn't get checked. Max wanders right through. Whoa, there's a guy behind me. I'm not all the way with my back against the wall. Clearly something's in the way. But now it is just Christian against 3. And well, to conclude this half, I feel like 9-6, Endpoint have gotten off a little bit lightly.
Yeah, it's been a story of recovery in this first half for Endpoint, right? It's situations that shouldn't look winnable, but have become winnable. There's some small mistakes creeping in for both of these teams, and that's why you can't really split them at this first half.
The pathway to recovery, they've done an okay job at trying to salvage their map pick, but it all has to start with the pistol round win. Get back into this game. Deny MOUZ NXT of number 10. That jump spot from Mighty Max is very valuable and a great shot to go with it. QQ gone. Second shot. Casanito finds it. Max will find the third. 2 against 5. I don't think Endpoint are going to make the same mistake they forced down the throats of MOUZ NXT at the beginning of this game. It is 2 against 5. Christian finds a second with that P250. Concerning now. The player with Kevlar, and that's the real worry now for MOUZ NXT.
Yeah, this is awkward. This should be endpoints. See that Casanito starting to extend back. Oh, hits the timing, unfortunately. Does a lot of damage. Goes back for a second bite with a movement off the ladder. Now it's just up to Slend. Could be no way he clutches this one out. Another jump spot. Information gathered. Attention turns back towards the balcony. Surreal delivers the killing blow.
Endpoint piss around win. Did say that's what they needed.
EQ knows it. Waiting patiently, full setup established now for endpoint. Flashbangs rain in for MOUZ NXT. Heavy God spotted, dealt with by Nexius. Casanito, at least there's a trade.
4 against 4. Stalemate. Still peeks towards middle. Casanito, the confident swing. Christian gone. Now down to 3. Not to mention Mighty Max with a deep read towards B. MOUZ NXT are playing with their hands tied behind their back right now because A, sure, Yimfat is there. Jump spot. That's all the information. The peek's out. MHL's got him. Now what? You push towards B. Max is chilling on deep.
What an incredible hold. 50 seconds. MOUZ NXT, only portion of control. They somewhat have his middle, but that's still under lock and key from endpoint. You can't really advance too far further forward. In towards connector. Surreal. Dealt with. Oh, and Casanito actually gets traded out as well. 2 versus 1. And QQ has got the better weaponry. He's ready for MHL. Damn. That's close, though.
Yeah. Felt like that could have been a lot cleaner for Resurgence, to be fair to them. Brilliant. They win the eco and they win the bonus.
And that's just a recovered scoreline. And yet again, we've got MHL taking lumps out of this MOUZ NXT roster. Keeps on firing, keeps on fighting forward mid. A priority. And Yimfat will end his reign of terror, but he's pretty much done the job already. Casanito actually playing window for this team and gets absolutely bopped on the head by QQ. 2 versus 3, but AKM4 recovered.
Having a look. See what they can do with the remaining weapons here. QQ, Yimfat, 2 against 3. No chances presented. Over a minute to go. Problem is, endpoint have a lot of read. No one on ramp. Playing passive towards B. We have the information. No one's crossed towards jungle. So likelihood is no one's in window. And dispels the fact that it's B. And that's exactly why Surreal picks up what Mighty Max was holding. And the SMG moves towards the site.
It gets dangerous, though, because if you lose this player on the bomb site, sure, you got Surreal on a quick rotation, but he's got no utility. It'd be a 2 versus 2, and you got to wait for Heavy God, who's so far removed from everything.
Max is waiting. Someone's going to have to give up an audio cue for the T side, whether that's dropping into the site or not. Max seems oblivious to the idea that someone could be there. And QQ fighting a second. It's Heavy God against 2. How has this round fallen apart for endpoint?
They're just overstepping. They're just not checking their angles yet again. Max just backsteps into the kill. Surreal overextends. I literally said he doesn't have to do that. He needs to wait for Heavy God, who's really far away. And because the timer's been ticked down so far, Heavy God peeks the corner. Gets dealt with by Yimfat. Double digits down first by MOUZ NXT. Needs to get past. A pretty decent investment, though, MOUZ NXT. Surreal was on the scout. That's the only little blemish on this record. Fantastic nades. Casanito fights forward. Heavy God here as well, but can't convert. In fact, I think he needs to get out of dodge. Very isolated right now, but he's being helped out with utility and the presence on short from Max.
Minute and 30 to go. But an early disadvantage for both teams. Probably favours MOUZ NXT in this situation.
Absolutely. You've got to split the defense. You've got to allocate your resources pretty evenly, which will leave noticeable gaps in the defense.
See right now, MOUZ NXT want to poke towards middle. They think that's the most logical conclusion. Max is playing on short right now and laddering with that M4, so he's going to have to be the steel wall, effectively, for endpoint here. Moves into window room, probably will sit on top of the ledge or maybe drop down to the bricks. Either way, his job is to try and safeguard middle, and the timing has given MOUZ NXT a path towards connector. Max won't see this. It's the moment they do, it'll be the moment that Heavy God probably gets his head blown off his shoulders. Got to see what he can do from this spot. Nice first up from Max. Even better job from Heavy God as he finds himself a double. Just QQ left 1 against 4. And endpoint, maybe there is some strength to this 4v4 scenario. Heavy God had the read. His teamwork alongside Max will give them double digits and to tie things right back up.
Tell you what, that gets really scary though, because Max and Heavy God both smoke connector at the same time. Fit out. But this is going to be fast. Everyone's going to be retaking him from short here. From endpoint, MHL holding the window, flashbangs, good enough. But Surreal actually gets a kill with the USP of all things.
What?
And there's that flag. Max has found another.
The site's starting to get cleared out, Brandon. So while they have found the numbers game, the site doesn't exactly fall in their favor. So a retake required. 4 against 3. There is a endpoint shaped hole left out of this B site that these 4 remaining players need to fill back in. Case in a Mac 10. Max has been spotted. Damage done, but it's only a tickle to Nexius as Max dives out towards site. Yimfat got him. Casanito dropped. MHL Surreal both hit the deck. And well, finally, MOUZ and XT able to defend. It did get scary, Brandon, but the beginning. Oh, MOUZ and XT a whisker away from being economically reset. How does the ball charge in round 24? Casanito! 2 towards middle, sticks his horns right where it hurts for MOUZ and XT. Glenn and Christian both gone. Yimfat trades to make it his 24th kill here on Mirage. Problem is, that's a man disadvantage in a round that MOUZ and XT ideally wanted to keep it in.
Gap. A very small one. The MHL's holding for it. Yimfat should be dead, and he is. Really good shot. And the fact that Max hasn't moved a muscle tells you everything you need to know. Endpoint understanding. MHL even hits the shot after the pop flash. This one's all said and done. We're going level yet again. MHL. Let's get forced off the angle, but Max has been here the entire time.
There you go. 4 players survived for Endpoint. 12 on the board. Wow. Yeah, again, that's just like another perfectly timed smoke, because you can tell MOUZ and XT were getting ready. The Glocks were inching ever so slowly forward. Now the con player has to go up a little further. Slend required to take first contact. Last 3 players down from Palace. And Heavy God will welcome them with open arms. 13-12. Endpoint. 3 more to go.
Interesting conversation we could talk right here, right now. This pop play might be the recipe for success. Surreal has to fall back a little bit. Further flashbangs and utility. Yimfat in Palace doesn't reveal himself just yet, but MHL deals with Slend in the AWP head-to-head.
Yeah, it's another round that Slend's going to have to watch from the sidelines as MHL picks up a second. I mean, look, if you're MOUZ and XT, I said it about Endpoint, you know, with the whole buy situation. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. 2 players caught 1 by 1 towards A, but Christian makes up for it as he finds a double in middle.
This is so clever. You reset A here. You got 2 kills on the death cam. You're leaving. Max and Surreal have pushed in mid, but where do they go? Do you clear out T spawn or do you walk TV room to B? I think where you've pumped the brakes and where you've got information, Endpoint know it's going to end A. And MHL's holding for Palace, and he spots them as well.
He knows. The man knows. Delivers. Any more he'll be asking. Knows that there was some timing for them to cross towards side. That Molotov certainly does give it up. Fires away a little prematurely, but doesn't want to take too much damage to the flames. 15 seconds left. Bomb goes down. Orb goes chasing towards spawn. And you mentioned Max. He's on the flank. He's got 1. And MHL the other. Endpoint take 14.
What a round from MHL. All orchestrated off the back of the AWP. Absolutely incredible. And it's actually so smart as the response for Endpoint.
An attempt at a fake.
Oh, spotted. Smoke dropped. Out Palace they go. Surreal on a timer here. They are barreling out. Nexius deals with Heavy God. Now Surreal, they know his position, but how many can he take to the grave within 3? That is exceptional. You give Yimfat an AK, sure, but MHL gives him a leg shot in response. Bomb planted, but denied by the HG.
Oh, brilliant. And Christian's in connector, so they can actually defuse in safety. Not that they're going to know just yet. Flashbang goes in, Pete goes out, MHL. I mean, at least it's information. They do lose the AWP, but they don't care because they've got 15. And they only need 1 out of the next 2 here, Brandon, to take us to Vertigo with Endpoint claiming their own map pick.
It's been a really good resurgence as well from Endpoint. MHL has been sublime. Heavy God's been stepping up in these couple of rounds. Surreal's been a consistent threat and force. We'll set up here. This execute has to deliver. You need to get past Max, who, to be fair, has no utility.
Peeking in, Max finds one more, 5 against 3. MOUZ NXT need a whole lot of luck to find themselves a 14th. MHL, Casanito, and it's all on Glenn. Quiet game of the orb, and it will be silenced for the final time. 16-13, endpoint take map 1.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about that? That is the same result as we had. Normally when you see one smoke, one molly, you're typically going to get the left side smoke and MOUZ NXT going up gap. MHL, though, has pushed. And Nexius, not ready for it. Decapitated instantly. And they need to isolate this. They need to trade, and they will.
Yeah, really important that they don't get him alive out of that. Gotta sacrifice MHL. Gotta get that trade off. 4v4.
Oh, this is deep. That's the elevator smoke. And then there's going to be a molly that goes right at the back of hell.
They are going to try and push up gap. That's exactly what Casanito spots. Was thinking about backing up into the smoke here, but they've got a counter flash. It doesn't quite work out. QQ and Christian both with kills. 2 against 4. Bob will go down, and endpoint locks out of this A site.
Yeah, and this time it's not going to be a 2 versus 5 in favor of endpoint winning the pistol. It's domination, and that's a really nice variation for MOUZ NXT. The fact that you throw a deep smoke in, you take space, you've got players playing anti-flash as you run up gap. You've already seen one of those flashbangs come out towards ramp after MHL fell, so you know there's always going to be a second one potentially. Heavy God will give this a look in. He has picked up a kit off the floor, so it's still workable, but MOUZ NXT are just going to play this one very disciplined. They're not going to give him the fights. In actual fact, Slend will put him out of his misery.
There you go. Did have the...
Will it be at the same pace? Because Nexius is now making noise. I don't think you expect Casanito here. He could do some damage.
No way. Nicely done. Nexius gets the man advantage. Well, worked as well. He starts to look out towards side. Got to be
I
careful.
want to look at Casanito here. I don't want to look at this.
Oh, HP. Casanito gets taken down after 1, unfortunately, mate.
You got 2.
Oh, yeah, he did. Sorry. The kill in the middle. It distracted me. I thought he only got the 1, but you are
look
right.
At Max. Max has pushed down ramp
3.
as well. This is
Yes.
false information because Nexius has got control of sight.
Oh, my word. Max could be in for a couple of kills, especially if they line up for him, and they will, but he can't hit either shot. Heavy got against 3, and they know he was one of the B players. That's why Slen's holding behind. Dink for dink, but the Galil will best of Act 10. And that will be that. 2-0. Gets the follow-up as well. And forcing endpoint. Definitely. Start of this game. Well, Nexius finding Casanito, so there goes the ramp hold immediately. Max forced to play catch. Not before the USP gets a kill, though. Fair enough.
That's ridiculous. How's he got to kill the USP? Blend looking to get some more kills. Oh, got to be careful because now they start to overwhelm. Prison brought down to about half. You don't want to walk into these pistols. You know they're all here. Why are you fighting them?
And at least it's gone 3v3, but you are right. Massive risk taken in this round. It goes up towards Sandbag as well. We wait. A whole minute on the clock. MHL showing a bit of shoulder towards Gap. Wants to pick up the information. They haven't left ramp. Know that the AK's still there, and he'll be calling to his teammates. Real, get on my head. Let's boost. Let's get innovative. We've got pistols. They've got rifles. Let's try and stick it to them in a surprising way.
Got to be mindful of this, though. MOUZ NXT. Oh my god, the timing, but Yimpat spams out the bottom half of the boost. So you know that there's a player in towards Gap. Nice shot from QQ. Heavy God gets Molly back, not before he hits. Oh my goodness me, 2 shots. 1 versus 1 against QQ. Bomb drops in the open, but QQ nails him. But what an attempt from Heavy God. Just moves. Cha-Cha slides out the way. Now Max has got to be careful. He's isolated from MHL.
They've got to be very cautious. This next fly, MHL. Hits a dink. The nade of Max will finish the job. 4v4. I don't know how MHL even survives that long, to be honest with you, out towards Gap. Yeah, eventually push comes to shove and the frags go either way. A stalemate at the minute mark. They are going to try and regroup towards B. The question is, the double stack for endpoint. Do they expect this? Heavy God's going to go clearing down. Nobody's here. Now, oh, he comes back, and that's going to cost him his life. He wanted to fall back, but then had second pushing forward. Nicely done from Casanito, but only finding one. Endpoint, this should be another loss until Surreal finding Christian. 2v2, but the B-bomb site has got lots of space, and that's exactly what MOUZ XT are here to take.
You know there's going to be a flank on at some point. You know that's going to be the key. Slend holding for it. But where is Surreal? You're going to have two 1v1s. It's going to dictate the entire pace of this. Retake. Max, yet again. Another corner just not cleared.
Surreal 1 against 2. Hits the first shot. And the second Surreal.
What?
No kit, but he's got plenty of time. No problems for the K-Man as he secures Endpoint. Their first round here on Vertigo. MOUZ and XT get a bomb plant. There are ways that they can invest around it, and Endpoint aren't going to have the best of buys either. And the disrespect even shoots the body a couple of times just to show bad faith here.
Should have amalgamated into a MOUZ and XT win, but somehow, some way, Endpoint prevail. That's not an AWP, that's an MP9. NHL down to 2 points of health, but the spam's perfect from Max.
Five against 4. MHL low, but as you say, they walk away with a man advantage. Max with that AK that gets the opening kill. Minute and 15 to go, and well, for the rest of MOUZ and XT, right? We didn't take any B control early, so ramp seems like our most logical conclusion. Endpoint taking a second here. Yeah, they could definitely serve that up. Can't get caught out by those deagles. We saw what Heavy God was capable of. Jump spot, Max. I don't think he actually got any information, but the noise certainly would be a dead giveaway.
Oh, that's scary. You're allowing QQ to fight you on a headshot angle. Further information gathered. Reset, double up short. Casanito pushes and deals with Crizant. That locks MOUZ NXT in. They have to commit. This is the only bit of control they have. Need to go in towards A, but double gap. That's the setup you need to get past.
Here we go. QQ finding Surreal. There is a way into this site. Dink for dink. Maybe through the smoke. Mighty Max quite out as well. What the hell has just happened to Endpoint? We have taken 4 1v1s, in fact, in the 5v4, making all 5 as Casanito has no choice. Back turned. MOUZ and XT up to 4. That is a horrific...
The advantage in that setup. But Surreal overextends. Leaves Max on his own. And from there, yeah, you're right. The rest, history. MHL gets spammed through the smoke. You can kind of forgive him, but what a disaster. That should never be a MOUZ and XT 4.
Oh my word. And Mighty Max has just earned an advantage back through the smoke. Christian caught with a cheap shot from Endpoint. What do they do now? Getting 10 to go. Casanito swings, hits the dink. QQ 10 points of health. 3 against 3, but still a lot more bite size for Endpoint in these pistols.
You know Heavy God's that B player, so you understand that there could be another flank on the cards. That's why QQ's holding. And with Heavy God pushing mid, you can just keep these players here on A. It still should be fine for MOUZ NXT. They've got the utility. They've now, with this smoke, isolated Max. Didn't fall out of favour, but it all depends how this shot goes down between Heavy God and QQ, because now you've got 30 seconds. Time pressure becomes a factor.
Yeah, we've got to go back for the bomb. Heavy God obviously wanting to flank. It's all about timing. He's been given the chance and the man delivers. And a second shot. Oh, Max hits it. It's all right. 1 against 2 with 15 seconds. QQ's got the bomb in his back pocket, but there is no safe space to plant this bomb. And with 10 points of health and 10 seconds on the clock, he's really got not a lot of time to take either. Spam towards CT. MHL swings. USP to AK. And Endpoint have their second.
Can't believe, like, what on earth is going on in this game?
Very scary. Gotta be careful, Max. Gonna be challenged a lot here, and that AK shot whizzing over the top of his head tells him everything he needs to know. Flashbang is brilliant. Max swings off the back of it. Max making it 3, nearly 4. Yimfat will deny the 1v4 of his own. Has to start here, and to be fair, he's found two. It's another 1v1 fight taken. Casanito way too aggressive towards ramp. Does get caught out. 2 more to go. What can Yimfat do? Has to go aggressive to get the bomb from Gap. Endpoint can keep their eye on that.
Oh, this is such a Yimfat.
Oh. No way. Surely MHL doesn't lose this round. Brings his rifle back out. One shot needs to be made, and he does. But listen, Brandon, that's a 1v4, and it ends in a 1v1. Like, as much as you can commend Endpoint for winning a
manner, because ultimately it's going to favor the T side, because the CT economy will become so brittle that it will break.
Done. Casanito finding 2. Only the 2 as Christian ends his life with the Glock. I like this from Cyril. Don't need to commit too far out, but he will eventually. MP9 feeling confident. Makes himself $1,800 and more to the point. Picks up the M4 that was lost. The SMG covering. Nicely done. Nexius finding MHL. Opening kill does go their way.
Well, Max hears that. He's going to get past the other players. This is so smart from Max. Check him in the smoke. Oh my goodness, Phoenix sprays them down. But surely you knew about Nexius. Was there the whole time. And now the player advantage, despite that, is still with MOUZ NXT.
Look towards the other side of the map. That's exactly where Heavy God's just left as well. Got Cora. Scary stuff. Moving on in. Heavy God.
Oh,
that timing is going to hurt massively. Smoke goes in as well. Blocks him off. They're going to get the plant.
He's going to have to wait for Casanito. Casanito's got all the utility here. So once they regroup, they can then formulate a little bit of a plan. Kit on Heavy God, it is still doable, but the utility and the gunplay needs to be precise. And Casanito's already made noise.
Here we go. Comes to shove as Heavy God finds one, but unfortunately overwhelmed. MOUZ NXT to survive. Round 10. A chance for Endpoint to equalise. MHL lets them know early on that there is an AWP in the picture for the CT side. Flies off through the smoke, to no avail. Mighty Max. All the damage, but no kill. Or in fact, he does get a kill, sorry. Blend that trades out, so 4v4. Problem is, that gun would have been very nice in Casanito's hands, but it's left in a pretty awkward position.
MHL isolated here, misses the shot. And now it's Slend. If he wants, he can even upgrade to the AWP, and he will. Fantastic nades. This is just such a good round of Counter-Strike out of MOUZ NXT. The utility is so well placed. The fact that they trap MHL in that corridor, it's just pure uncertainty. Misses the shot, and he is dead. Casanito trying to repair things. One player still is low, Yimfat. Walking wounded, but Slend does bail him out. Heavy God versus the world, and QQ still on this bomb site. Heavy God not going to be ready for him, and the flashbang only helps matters further. MOUZ NXT will win it out. Hello. Double trouble in the smoke. Never mind, dealt with. You got any thoughts for this one, Ryan? I know that we've got a little bit of endpoint bias, of course, because we're from the UK, but watching this first half, I think it's been a little bit disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, like I'm a big fan of endpoint. I've always have been, just because it's you know, UK team. Well, now a European team with UK blood.
Also, what's important to note is historically Endpoint are much better on the T side and the defense. Another runny boost coming over. Good God. See you later. That is 1 kill, and that dictates the whole round. We're done. Round over, surely.
Yeah, it has to be.
Why?
Got from QQ down to 3. Yeah, I am wondering what Casanito's motive is. Well, it has been in the entirety of Vertigo.
Needs to be a save here, guys. Well, you haven't got any money. Get out of there. Hold fire. MOUZ NXT go for the run boost again. At this time, it pays off. Catches Heavy God completely by surprise. And honestly, should have been the save right there on that. Should still be the save now.
Yeah. Don't know why we're going to try and take fights 2v4. You just got to call it quits. We have it. QQ finds one. Max trades. And there you go. MOUZ NXT by way of elimination. Don't even let the bomb explode.
I don't know. I don't think it's that likely. Unless Casanito hits a banger right here. Doesn't happen. I think we're looking closer to 10-5, 11-4 territory, to be honest.
Yeah. With the game the way it's going right now, I couldn't disagree with you. I think Endpoint have fallen off a little bit here on Vertigo. They've been winning some funky rounds, you know. I think about the Deagle attempt from Heavy God, the USP round, right, with like a couple of Deags that they won out. That just feels a little bit out of reach. Nice shot from Max. Damage is good. Baits out the AWP as well. At least he knows that there's a big green towards bottom ramp. I particularly think you want to be fighting it, though.
Got nothing to lose here, so you might as well just go for it. I think what's important to note is, whilst we're being a little bit critical of Endpoint, we've got to give a lot of praise to MOUZ NXT. And we've got to say, look, what were the win conditions that we said would be effective for MOUZ NXT on Vertigo? It's Nexius, it's QQ. Where are they? Right at the top of the leaderboard alongside YimFab. So it's good to see that they are stepping up. It's good to see that it's what we expected. And more importantly, it's just good for the morale of MOUZ NXT. It's going to be 9-4. Potentially one more buy left in Endpoint. Honestly, I think 11-4 is a really realistic possibility.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it is going to be that one side, and if it is going to get that bad for Endpoint, then you're probably considering the impossibles here on Vertigo. And, you know, we haven't even said a half of CS, so I don't want to talk about the word that starts with A, but we all know what we're thinking in terms of a BO3. Decided if it could be on the cards. As MOUZ NXT make it 9. Endpoint need the last 2 rounds for my... One more. 10-5, very likely. Let's throw the Endpoint smoke out once more. Feels like ST boys have a protocol for everything. Casanito just standing in the middle of nowhere. That is pretty swift stuff. Heavy God, at least some control towards B.
Yeah, but Surreal's now just going to walk straight into the guillotine. Like, so many overextensions. MHL's been caught out in the sandbag. All dink prison, and you ought to think that YimFat is low. But at the end of the day, it feels like MOUZ NXT are in control. It depends on this swing from Max. He deals with Nexius. That's the furthest advancing player. He's still got 2 low. Still doable, technically, for Endpoint to hit 5.
Five isn't enough, though, in my books.
Be better than 4.
True. Very accurate. 45 seconds left on the clock. You know, there's no time for touch-ups anymore to this MOUZ NXT play. It's what you see is what you get. They're going to have to push together. They're going to have to do something together. They can overrun MHL in middle. There's every opportunity they can split a site and break it.
Nicely done. Yeah. Really well worked. Oh,
wow.
even the dink through as well. Blend would have to go huge. That's a fantastic start, but you have 15 seconds. I think he's even going to run through this smoke and go A. 10 seconds. Got to plant the bomb, mate. Got to whack that down on the site. You're running out of time, Slend. There it is. Guess what? Denied by Max. 10-5 at the very least. It's something to work with. It's a lifeline, but MOUZ and XT look absolutely dominant here on Vertigo.
Yeah, look, it could have gone 11-4, sure, whatever. Got to consider at one point this game into round 9 was.
That's something they need to fix up, something that needs to happen now. Nexius just wants to take fights. He spots a lot of players here, and for some reason, none of MOUZ and XT are rotating. Casanito and Surreal chime in, and that's going to be the signal for them to work their way over.
.4v4. Not a terrible spot for Endpoint. Start to move in towards B as a pack. As you said, right, a lot of bodies were spotted at the bottom of ramp, so MOUZ and XT want to make sure they haven't just slowed it down and held shift the whole time from ramp control. They're going to start aggressing, but that's exactly what Endpoint wanted all along, because now they can make their way towards B, and that site defense is very much weakened.
It's always going to be a contact play, Surreal with Yimfat. That keeps them at bay. Important kill, and MHL onto Crizzen. That's the bomb site opened up. That's the digits planted and locked in. And for MOUZ and XT, it's a 2 versus 4 to try and recover. You haven't got a kit and you've got no utility.
DQ tries to jump over the head of Casanito. Eventually, the Glock burst fire.
I was going to say, was that burst?
Yeah, he just flicks it on because why not? But Endpoint win the pistol, playing their own Counter-Strike and playing without fear. Though there hasn't actually been any casualties in the round. Endpoint definitely have the ramp space, and MHL delivers for the opener.
There are tags, though. These scouts could get very deadly, very quick. UQ through the smoke deals with Max. MHL also walking wounded. Gotta wait for Heavy God's lurk activation, but needs to come in sooner rather than later. Needs to bail out his team. Casanito with one more, but keep your eye on Slend, because he's tucked himself in towards short. Surreal not ready, but that's a missed shot.
Great from Casanito finding Slend. More to go. Heavy God's spotting Yimfat, and there you go. Takes him down. 7-10. Endpoint win the follow-up as well in fairly convincing fashion.
5 mid. Look at him go.
Heavy God.
Yeah, he's seen them all.
Yeah, I was going to say, picked up on the first, but it's not just about finding the frags. It's all the information as well. He'll be calling to his teams. Just get the bomb, accelerate somewhere, do something as a team. I don't know where the last couple are, but I've just seen an abundance of people in front of me. And there you go. Endpoint making it clean. 8 on the board. Look, they had a bad CT start. I'd say Counter-Strike is a game of 2 halves. So far, so nicely done. Damage. Endpoint trying to make their presence known towards middle. Unfortunately, straight through the smoke, and a second frag as well. Not great for the beginnings here in the fall by.
No, they wanted to go mid to B over the top. Max was going to be the distraction through elevator. And now Endpoint need to reset. They need to completely turn away. But as you can see with the silhouette, as we swap to MHL's POV, still got Nexius. Close gap. And suddenly, once MOUZ and XT get this information, they're going to rotate quickly. Can you see through this tarpaulin? Yeah, definitely can. Oh, but he fumbles the bag.
3 against 4. MHL nearly getting caught out by the nade, but it's all right. Really nicely taken care of. Slend finding Casanito. Bomb drops in the gap. Nice shot from MHL, but I want to get... Bam from Nexius, finds the opening kill. Really nice shot. 5 against 4. Endpoint yet again going to have to stuff up. And disadvantage. And not be long-lived as they move towards middle. Kresian in a spot that I feel like if it gets cleared, he'll find nothing from. Molotov, does it spread down? Does it catch him out? No, but Mighty Max spots him. And that's a trade-off, 4v4.
Are they doing the same play again? Yeah, they're walking through the smoke. YimFat just holding. MHL deals with Nexius. It all relies on Slend. As he walks around the corner, Max just absolutely destroys him. Now YimFat, see you later. That's what they wanted to do in the previous. This time it works out in the present. Endpoint planting QQ. Lefty has to save.
Definitely has to. What a brilliant shot that was from Max in the mid player. The second one just as good. And then Heavy God finding the CT man. Yeah, no chance at all. Really well worked in Heavy God, making sure that rifle does not get saved. 9 on the board for Endpoint. And MOUZ and NXT gonna have to take another eco. 10.
Follow up incendiary, they know. And MOUZ and NXT actually wants to reset in towards mid. Heavy God could be in with a few. In fact, oh my goodness me.
Gets rewarded for it as well, Brandon.
No way, Nexus finds that kill.
3 against 5. It's Casanito again. 40 seconds left. Endpoint. They've got to start working out how they want to take this site. Flashbang towards the gap. Smoke goes deep towards elevator as well. Nice nade from Surreal. Going to catch off one. Prioritize the bomb plant, but it has to be tapped because a Molotov will stop him. These Mighty Max finding another 3 versus 3. They've got to be careful for behind them as well because Kresian making that flank work.
Big nade. There is that flank. Max spots him and just disappears. No kits, remember, no utility. This was a pure eco from MOUZ and NXT, but yet they're going to give it a go. Have to be so careful about this flank, so Kresian, he can just wait. He'd just be such a nuisance. Max, as soon as he takes contact here onto Slend, that's where Kresian will start to make his move.
Disintegrated by the nade. Tap not stuck. YimFat another. 1 against 3 now. Surreal gets dropped. Is there enough time? It's going to be close. I think so. Just about. Really close margins. But MOUZ NXT win a 12th out. Endpoint, that's really disappointing. I've got to say one thing, Brandon, and I hate to point fingers.
Kresian stands here. So I wonder when they will realise that that's the case. They're trying to split A.
Nice shot, MHL. Trade off. Sanito unfortunately drop, but Heavy got over the top and Max catches the CT rotate. YimFat now against 4. Does he get cleared in his spot? Bomb making its way back around now that they know, okay, we'll go back towards A because he's out on B. And there you have it. It's 10 on the board for Endpoint. Maybe there are chances they can close this one out in 2.
Maybe they just can't drop the ball. Mid control definitely working. Definitely something that MOUZ and NXT needs to address, whether that's with aggression, whether that's just with utility a little bit later on. But Endpoint are finding ample success here. This one's going to go to double digits for both teams. Endpoint are still within it, in touching distance of bringing this one back and leveling out the scoreline. But it still gets tricky. 3 players left alive. Max is only on a Galil, and we've seen how much damage the Deagles can do. And with YimFat and Kresian having so much money, it wouldn't even surprise me if they just drop rifles and they go again.
Yeah, honestly, I definitely...
This is patient. This is Endpoint expecting MOUZ and NXT to get aggressive in middle, and they might be rewarded. YimFat on the way.
Oh, good peek for MHL. Keeps things alive for Endpoint. Not only that, leveling the scoreline, but forcing Kresian back. Heavy God needs to hit the headshot. Oh my God, does he? He's having a great game on the T side so far. I feel like he hasn't missed ever since stepping foot onto the side with the AK. Been headshot after headshot. QQ putting his detective's cap on, working towards ramp. And ultimately now, it's a big opportunity for Endpoint to close out for an 11th, but a shot from Slend leveling things out.
Look at the push.
Oh no. They even allow him to get away.
They're dead. There's no way this happens. There it is. QQ finds MHL, heavy guard. Let's find one. 1v2 required.
Then again, it's heavy god. What can this man do in this situation? 30 seconds left. He'll end up close with the AWP. He gets caught out. Second man. No, Nexius just about holds on. There will be a save of an AWP. No money for endpoint here. Single round loss bonus. It's going to get... Got to be careful not to play catch, Max. But MHL and Surreal both tagged up. And it still stays a 5v5. Nice shot from Christian. Finding heavy god. And that's going to be that, I think. It's, you know, not only the man down, but it's like you've got another 150 HP missing between 3 players. MOUZ and XT don't look like they're going to be losing round 14. Could be an eco, 15-10. 1 round away from knocking us over to Ancient.
It's happening. Looks very likely. Unless Max putting up a masterclass. Clever from QQ. Spots, drops the smoke, gets out of there. Now has the support from Prison. Keeps on going with that MP9. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. The SMGs do absolutely everything. And this time it's just Casanito on the P250. Does find one, but that is it. 14-10, MOUZ and XT.
Yeah, fully...
Oh,
well,
unless
a bit of damage. Surely not with Glocks though, Brandon. I don't want to throw the word unless in there because it's just highly unlikely. Now they get turned to the meat grinder and stopped at the door. Yeah, sure, a little bit of damage, but damage will be enough unless Heavy God 1v5 with a Glock. And yeah, I was gonna say that chance is 0.
Yeah, it's fun just throwing it in though. Like, no, Surreal, you need it more than I do.
You, sir, need to keep it.
You will die. Crunch time, and Yimfat. He's dealt with Heavy God immediately. Surreal looks to extend up B, but can't do it. This is the beginning of the end as QQ looks to the heavens. We're going Ancient.
No way, we're not. 5 against 3. MOUZ and XT trying to push for the last few kills. As they know they've earned themselves a 3rd map. They know mark themselves a little bit more of a chance. Molotov, smoke, both items trying to block off control. Max starts to move forward. Doesn't matter. Casanito gone. Nexius swings. MHL 1 versus 5 to try and keep the dreams alive here for Endpoint. Nice couple of shots, but unfortunately, with such low HP, this round's done.
Yep. Finito. Unless...
No.
Not happening. Chris in position. Too good. Oh. And there it is. 16-10 for MOUZ NXT. Let's go looking a lot more comfortable for them. There were chances for Endpoint, but they let it slip. And that...
The final. In the final game before the player break. Final.
Final.
Pistol. Let's go.
And MHL just walks down. Straight into Prison. Casanito also been spotted. A lot of information here for MOUZ and XT. And I think that changes their direction. Thinking about going through mid instead. Want to reset towards B.
And hate it. See what we got for us, Surreal. Tapping away from range. Not going to be able to claim back that man advantage. It's just going to settle. It is still that 5 against 4. Casanito wanting to push in. That's a 6 shot to be landed.
This is so interesting because you're still going to get this stalemate across the map where Endpoint aren't going to move because they've only spotted 1 player. Good job. They got the trade. They know it wasn't Prison out there. They didn't get the assist. Blend finds Heavy God. That opens up an avenue in towards A. But hey, guess what? That's not actually going to happen. MOUZ and NXT are going to go towards B. It's been completely left open by Endpoint.
Nice dink. niko forced away, 3 against 4, bomb down. The real caught in no man's land in middle, while Slender's fighting for Donut and making it look like they're playing towards A. Bombs B all along. Casanito fighting Christian though, and that does mean there's only 2 players on site.
Yeah, it does, but there's no kit. And the only bit of utility is on Max, who's all the way in spawn. They need to go quick here. Casanito needs to be careful. Surreal's already been tagged as well. This one looks unwinnable. And with Yinfat finding that kill, it all but confirms it. MOUZ NXT, it's misdirection, but it nets them in success in the pistol.
Very nicely done. Slend going to find the real exit, at least going to be made for Casanito. What happened to his jewelies, you know? Going to save a USP instead. With nothing in your pockets, right? I actually think it's very like map dependent on whether the force buy is good in round 2. I like it a lot on Ancient because I feel like you lose mid and B a lot if you just don't have volleys or smokes. So I can kind of understand as to why. Go for a force buy here. Eco next. Whatever.
Prison's finding everything. Nice stuff. That's 3 kills in mid. See you later. Bomb site secured for Nexius over at A. That's where the bomb's going. And yeah, this should just be a cleanup. This should be a nice, simple round. Although, Surreal does find him. Yet again, we're in this weird scenario where Utility's raiding over, bomb's actually committing into A, closer to endpoint, and MOUZ and NXT are worlds away from this bomb site. And so much so that endpoint think it's B. Actually, I don't think they think it's B. I think they're just saving.
Yeah, I was going to say, last 2 players should just chalk this one up to be their save. That'll be that. Second round on the board for MOUZ NXT. It's just a slow way out, unfortunately. Deal with us thinking for the next 15 seconds or so. But obviously for Endpoint, it's going to have to be an eco in the next. There's not much thought process behind that investment and those terms. Just got to head into a 3rd round, as I said, pistols, and thinking more about round 4 than the one that's just about to happen.
MOUZ NXT that went up 10-5 on the T side.
Got to be careful that history doesn't repeat itself then, Brandon, is what you're telling me.
Yes, sir.
See if that's going to be the case. This round is an excuse. In fact, with an AK, Heavy God on a USP. You know, very different guys. Different game plans, but will end in the same result in round 4. Christian fighting a 2nd as well. Shouldn't be too much of a worry here. Just dismiss these pistols. Move forward. I'm sick and tired of watching these ecos, Brandon. Just get me to the juicy bit, you know, where when everyone has those guns and we get to see pure tactical Counter-Strike.
Won't have to wait long, mate. We're nearly there. Got to put the bomb down on A. Deal with Max on the flank. Deal with MHL in mid. Talking like this so we can get to go faster. There's the first one. Now it's just on Max. Please don't save the USP. Please. Thanks. Stop pulling teeth. Just come on. Go around the corner. I know you're playing for an exit.
Yeah, I don't know. All of that for nothing, Brandon. Who would have guessed it? A USP against a Galil. QQ guns him down, even sprays the rest of the mag next to
The mouth. Cool.
Yeah.
Fun gun. MHL. Oh. That's an observer bug. He can't see that. Yinfat deals with Surreal. He's so consistent. Like, it's actually insane how good this guy is.
And 10 left. 4v4 doesn't really favour either side. Christian being low, but Endpoint being on the CT side, kind of feel like it evens it out a little bit. Flashes are going in. Max front sight. Pretty weird angle. Now that he's been smoked off from long, though, this becomes a terrible position to be in, and there is no way he's going to find any fragging power. And his teammates completely locked out of the site. QQ's going to plant the bomb. No stopping that. Re-smoke towards short. And all of a sudden, you know, it just goes from bad to worse. Heavy God getting that kill. Has breathed life back into this round and finding a second. Even more important, Slen's going to try and play chase. Heavy God's already beaten into that. Yimfat now letting him know that he's in cave. Finds one of his own. Really important frag. Molotov lands at his feet and he is cooked as Heavy God starts to defuse. He's going to stick. It's a 10-second stick. There's no 5-second hold. Now it should be let. No! And of course, Slen will transfer straight through the smoke for nothing.
Great round. Heavy God.
Fragging power. You know, we weren't exactly convinced that these guys could do it. We saw on Vertigo that there were signs of life, but as you say, in the first 4 rounds, the fact that 3 players already not only meeting, but beating the quota. Nice.
Oh,
no
speaking
way. Of nice, surreal. 2 and a dink. Unfortunately, it was a good attempt towards B. Kill towards middle, I think we'll re-invite MOUZ and XT to head towards A.
How does this keep happening? How do we keep having these pistols be so dangerous?
I don't know.
They are running through. This is still scary. We know how good Heavy God is with the deagle. Oh, nearly. What could have been? MHL might go for this, you know, because 2 players are low. You haven't got armor.
Yeah, no kit either.
Might be good to kill.
He will be.
But do you expect a second player?
I don't think you do. Especially when you were holding the cross the whole time, right? And, oh, he's even going to go towards CT, which, I mean, could be good, but could be bad.
I think it's good. 1 bullet potential on Slend.
It is true. And he does hit it. 1v1 now. MHL knows he's got chances. Problem is, he's got a smoke, but he's got no kit. Smoke goes on top. MHL starting to stick. 10-second defuse, and Nexius knows exactly what he's doing. 5-0. Decent start for MOUZ NXT as they are already a third of the way there. To draw Max off of this. And look, they're not even heading B, but they're just trying to play chess with endpoint, right? It's like we smoke CT. You come to middle. We're going to act like we're going to make a move towards mid, head towards B. But in actual fact, A feels like the more of the promise. That shot from Christian to clear Casanito. It doesn't matter that he gets traded. Is a very important opener.
Heavy God is isolated, but he does his best work on his own. Max, important duel here with Nexius, but Nexius wins it out. And now Heavy God is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and well, just has an AWP bullet in between the eyes. That's the round done and dusted. Surreal, MHL, you're saving. But can you even save? Because look, Yimfat's been here the entire round. Bye-bye.
Oh, it doesn't even check. Knife out, thought he was chilling. No, sir. And now MHL going to try and get out with the AWP, but didn't even get to see the head-to-head. Didn't even get to see MHL fire a single bullet. Left to save. MOUZ NXT 6-0. Commanding start here on Ancient. We were talking about the last time these guys faced off on this map. 10-5.5. Feels like we're very much going to meet that quota again here in the first 15 rounds of our decider.
What's really cool as well is we've seen so much variation out of MOUZ NXT and so much misdirection to the point where endpoint can never truly rotate. Nice kill at the end, gets denied on the AWP though, and that one does get collected for Slend. But yeah, MOUZ NXT.
Round 7. I don't think there's going to be any change here. Endpoint's defense, unfortunately, consisting of whatever they can afford.
Of course. Have you got with a dig?
Classic. Opening kill does go their way.
To be fair, this would be typical endpoint if they win this round.
It would be.
Real 5-7. Does he get cleared in this angle? You'd expect so. Max is holding for Nexius on this side. The double up. Nexius surely dead. No. Deals with Max, but not ready for Surreal. It's actually Casanito that helps out. There's a lot of players in mid for endpoint. Bomb planted. MOUZ NXT might take the space beyond the bomb site. Yeah, through the smokes. That's so clever because QQ's got the info.
Yeah, and I say what they can afford in this round was Deagles and MP9s. They are posing some serious threat. Post-plant scenario, QQ being on 2 points of health. never going to sit comfortably with MOUZ and XT. Krosian and Yimfa have to treat this as a 2v4 because QQ, not reliability. MHL starting to get it on. The fuse is happening. Glock pulled out, and he is brought off by Christian Glock. Second kill does go the way of Heavy God. Casanito finds another. Is there a kit on the CT side? No. I don't think there's enough time. It's going to be incredibly close. Oh, my word. Hold on a sec. Okay, never mind. There was enough time. I was lied to. I tried to do the maths halfway, you know, that kind of thing with the boxes, but no.
Joe, you look to these players to really step up.
Nicely done, Yimfa. Gonna find Max.
How? That should never have been Max. That should never have been that kill. Max should have at least got Krisen. They've left A.
They have. Done from Heavy God, gonna level things out at least. The scoring 4v4. Heavy God finds himself a second here in middle, conducting the MOUZ and XT players, trying them the door. Now, really, you're gonna have to hit a site together, especially with Krosian being low yet again. It feels like a 2v4 scenario.
That was so close. That was nearly Casanito dying from the elbow push. Have you got in deep A main here? Oh, yeah, he is. That is very gross for MOUZ and XT to deal with. They've got control of Donut. MHL will call mid. Oh, not clear. Hey, they're in Donut. Have you got time to get involved?
Oh, MHL behind. No! Misses his chance. Second kill. Yimfa finds them both. Heavy God on the flank will find one. Pinces out a second as well. And now it's all down to the AWP of Yimfa 1v2. Pincer maneuver that delivers the double. Heavy God's ace on the line. He's holding for the cross. Expecting for the rifleman to play face. The kit under the nose of Yimfa. Fires off once with the AWP. Molotov goes in. Now I think they can get on the defuse, and that's something that they're going to prioritize. Tap of it. It's the shot. Goes to the nade, but there is not going to be it. Heavy God gets his ace. We see it happen there. Picks up the kit as well. What a round from Heavy God.
But it's him. It has to be that guy stepping up when Endpoint need it the most, because they're really tripping up.
How's the next T? I mean, look, 7 rounds T-side Ancient. I know we like to say that this is going to be a T-sided map as such. But yeah, this is already dangerous territory. Flashbang from QQ, different, but I like it.
Oh, huge nade. Just say no molly. There it is. MHL.
Dead.
See you later. QQ is low. I mean, there is a chance for Max to go nuclear. But in actual fact, MOUZ and XT are just going to slow the sting out of this. Slend holding for it. Perfect kill. Interesting to bring up that point. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably receive some backlash, but I actually think Counter-Strike right now is in a state where we've got a lot of maps in the active duty pool where it is truly, or like we're getting to a state where it's 50-50. I think Ancient is a very 50-50 map. I think Inferno, obviously, 50-50. I think Mirage, we're getting there with that. That's 3 of them. I think where setups are changing on Anubis, that's going to evolve and be a pretty... Go in A.
Yeah. I mean, they fell for a trap that wasn't even really created for MOUZ and XT, right? They just say thank you very much.
Oh, you're pressing holding.
We're more than happy to take A space. Really nicely done. Didn't have to take the second fight. I think that's a bit too extreme. There are 2 rotates in. Heavy God misses his AWP shot.
Yeah.
Nexius guns down MHL in the meantime, which means both AWP pieces gone. This round's over. Surreal and Mighty Max will look to save as the boys from Britain hang their heads low, knowing MOUZ and XT have just claimed a 9.
You understand why Heavy got his secondary AWP in because of his position where he plays on the map. I still don't think that's a valid justification. If he's got a rifle there, I honestly think he gets 1, maybe 2. I know that's putting a lot of pressure on him, but I know how good he is with the rifle. I know how effective he is. Regardless, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. MOUZ and XT elevate themselves up towards 9.
Yeah.
First half looking really decent.
9 rounds, mate. Oh, there you go. Christian hand delivered the ult by Slend. He's like, dude, I'm dead. Just take it off my body. Thanks. And
That
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
gotta know that Nexus is here. She's been throwing utility.
Done. Oh,
No way.
Nexius finds 2, Brandon. He said they should know, but clearly a complete oversight. At least Heavy God finds QQ. Numbers a little more manageable here for the CT side, but with 35 seconds left, Bomb's going to make its way up. Great shot coming up, but Slend able to escape the scene.
They're
Tries to
running at
get
them.
away with a nade, and Mighty Max finds them both. 3 against 2. That's a massive misplay for Slend. The fact that he sticks around and tries to throw utility is what cost him his life.
Well played. Really good responses out of Endpoint. The double mid play out of Donut was sensible. Casanito was actually trained on the angle, looking for Nexius, but Nexius, I mean, a piece of incredible individual skill. But the double push, knowing that you see the players cross cave, very smart. Max, alive here on the server, earns Endpoint therefore.
Goes in at the perfect time towards B, denying that execute. MOUZ and XT, they've still got a minute to work things out here, Brandon. You know, it's a terrible situation by any stretch. In fact, how the hell does he walk away with that frag? Max has transitioned onto the site play. Smoke goes up towards cave. 40 seconds left. Endpoint are going to try and box them in. And Nexius dying there is not the greatest of ways to try and deliver a 10th round. And with 30 seconds left, plan B, they are still going to try and head towards this B site, but it's through ramp as well.
Oh, the fact they squeeze this timing out and Casanito doesn't peak. Got to get past Max in the site. That's the primary objective. In fact, might take space. Max. Oh, that's messy. But he does get the kill. Instantaneous trade, and Casanito starts pushing cave. Spam will come through eventually. Slend will get overwhelmed. Endpoint up to 5.
Yeah, the rifles here for Endpoint should carry them to a 6th. Just like Vertigo, Brandon, they are handed a one hell of a way out, you know? A way into the second half with not a terrible defense to work with Mighty Max through the end of the smoke, catching a double. MHL delivering on a 3rd. Bomb should still go down, but naturally, this should be number 6 enforced by the CT side.
What a recovery. Really well done out of Endpoint. You got to give it to them. This was looking dire. This was looking like they were down and out for the count, but it's 4 rounds out of the last 5. In fact, 17 and 8. That's ridiculous.
He's had a great... You were 8-2 up, and the half
Yep.
ends 9-6. This really could have just been, you know, a tale of the first 15 rounds and just waiting for MOUZ and XT to claim that grand final slot. Instead, there are chances for both possibilities, but it doesn't start off well for Casanito.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do about that? Being hunted down now is Chrisen, but no, he doesn't care. There's a bounty on his head, but he's still fighting forward. Max will claim it, but the rest of his team are all falling around him. It's just Heavy God versus the world. And there's a kit on Slend. Nexus even going to stick it for 10 seconds. There we go. Now it's the swap over. Swing coming over. Kill secure, but defuse locked in. Double digits for MOUZ and XT.
Yeah, I mean, at least Heavy God gets away with a kill, a bit of extra damage.
Swing. Now fast playing towards Donut. QQ gets out of harm's way. Oh, does he? Actually, just goes straight into the dig of Heavy God.
They keep the man ad. That's what matters, Brandon. QQ at 9 points of health doesn't spell creativeness, though, and, well, actually ends in a 3v3. I don't know what to think of this situation, to be honest, mate. They've got the bomb, but Endpoint with pistols have managed to at least second-guess the idea of MOUZ NXT claiming an 11th easily.
It should be locked in now, though. They put the smoke on Donut. They dealt with the flank. There's no utility for Casanito and MHL. You got to get the bomb, and that's in harm's way. Got to get past an MP9 at close range. Sure, 50 HP, but he's got the element of surprise, and he's got the fact that he's got full armor.
Nice from Slend, 2 kills, 11 on the board for MOUZ NXT. They are 5 rounds away from getting themselves that spot in the grand final. Aggression from MOUZ NXT. It would be nice if Endpoint weren't immediately executing A while they were going for that. So now they have to give up the site presence. There is a player pushing from late mid. Casanito finds the kill. He's expecting the second man here. No, he's looking to the left-hand side. Yimfat, he's able to hold off. 4v4. Heavy God has to keep his eye now on what's in front of him. That flashbang is brilliant. But Mighty Max's Molly has put things back down to the 3v3.
Bam, though.
Oh my God.
That's denied the plant.
What?
Oh, and again. This is absolutely crazy. I think Slen just got spotted by Surreal, but the shoulder also presented. How has this round gone so pear-shaped?
Surely 12 on the board unless MHL can find a 1v3. Does find Yimfat, but falls at the next hurdle. No bomb plant means eco for Endpoint. And that might mean he even tries to throw him off because I think he plants a little more to the right, like a little more in the open.
This is quick.
It is though, mate. Tech 9s and Deagles. The best formula to Mayhem is something a little more aggressive, but Pace isn't going to catch Christian off guard as he finds MHL. Slend has to put a new mag in his M4, and that's going to be the audio cue that pushes Endpoint into the site, but the problem is his defense multi-layered, and there are plenty of bodies in the way of denying that bomb plant. 13 on the board for MOUZ NXT. Catch off Slend for all too much. The AWP now getting posted in middle.
Yeah. I'm going to say that's interesting because you actually take Yimfat with you on an adventure to A, you drop him off, and then Slend can reposition in mid. That's a great start, and now Endpoint feel like they have to go into B. That flashbang, it is exceptional from Crizzen.
Yeah, that's it. I'll come back to the first kill in a second because Slend's got another. That's what I'm talking about. Quite quickly, Hero buys can spiral out of proportion so much now. T-side will fight their way into the site, and to be fair, they've done an alright job, but the kills go one way and then the other. MOUZ NXT up to 14. Endpoint lose on the bye. And again, I don't want to...
3, and he's 18 and 10. The flash work has been exceptional.
Yeah. Really nice. The real gets the numbers back though, so it is a 4v4. It goes in a little too shallow for Heavy God to catch considerable damage from. Problem is right now that I'm seeing for MOUZ NXT retake. Oh, I was going to say is even numbers. And that does favor Endpoint, but no bomb plant and a second kill as well. This could be it, Brandon. This could be the beginning of the end. Nice shot from Yimfat. One man to go of MHL, and he can't find diddly squat on the site. It's 15-7. It's map. It's series. It's grand final point, MOUZ NXT.
Being battered and bruised whichever way you turn. There's no AK in this round. It's 4 Galils.
Yeah, I get a feeling that MOUZ NXT are going to turn them away at the door. Mighty Max getting caught out by Christian's M4. 4 against 5. 4 more kills until MOUZ NXT see themselves through to a grand final.
Oh, you've even hit the player with the util. The real just running through on his own. What a mistake.
Wow.
You're lining up to end the map. 5v2. This is it.
Exceptional. And you can't deny that we even talked about the if buts and the maybes of a one-sided affair in map 3. We know what it looked like last time out on Ancient. I think what, it was 16-9, Brandon? This time, MOUZ NXT want to do it better. They want to do it with a more clinical performance. It's Heavy God against 5 and to deny Christian of his ace to see Endpoint up to 8 and to see if they can push forward for a slot in that grand final of their own. First kill's his, taken 50 damage through the smoke. And Slend peek in mid. The AWP holds, and that's it. 16-7. Endpoint. It was a valiant attempt in the semi-final, and fair play they get so far. But it's MOUZ NXT's day to knock on the doors of Sprout as we see themselves through to a grand final. They win map 1 Endpoint in 29 rounds, but it's 16-10. It's 16-7. It's the reverse.